What is it?
Well, it's called Randomiser, and it's fitted to the guidance systems and operates under a very complex scientific principle called potluck. Now, no one knows where we're going. Not even the Black Guardian.
Not even us.
Hello and welcome to episode 27 of the Randomiser Podcast. I am Tim.
And I'm Chaz.
Well, we've been away for a while. Chaz has been off to Gallifrey to become a Time Lord. How did that go?
Ace.
Very good. Spoilers this time for a bunch of stuff. The Sarah Jane Adventures, Grange Hill, The Tomorrow People, Stephen Moffat's Dracula, and every Doctor Who episode up to and including Eve of the Daleks.
Wow.
So I have been watching some old Sarah Jane Adventures, which I didn't watch at the time. I've finished season 1, just started season 2, and I had an enjoyable realisation that you had made reference when we mentioned a particular actor that they were Rani in Sarah Jane Adventures. So I was expecting the Rani.
Of course, because every female ever that gets mentioned now is the Rani in Doctor Who, etc.
Makes sense.
Yep.
But no, it's a Rani who is basically taken over from where Maria left off as companion. Or so far, I don't know much more because I'm still, I think, midway through their first episode.
Yeah, I remember you saying it was very convenient that she moved into Maria's old house.
Yeah,
but I remember pointing out to you that that is sort of the way that selling houses work.
Other people move in.
Yeah.
Yes, but do you think as the estate agent showed them around, they're like, and you're going to need to have supernatural intergalactic adventures? No,
yeah, well, you know, it's a bit like maybe they could have... compartmentalised it into estate agent speak.
It's got a compact defence system against alien incursion.
Des-res with 3 separate rooms.
And just hot and cold running Sontarans. Yeah, I loved the Sontaran episode, actually.
Yeah,
it was great
good.
fun.
Yeah.
And I thought that actually the one, was it just before that, where you suddenly think Luke is not Sarah Jane's, or not who they thought he was, and this human family claim him as a missing child. That was the one that I thought was the first really kind of impactful episode.
Yeah, although it did sort of merge a little because, you know, the actor himself, you kind of get the feeling that he's not who he says he is either, because he might not be human.
Yeah, I think there's maybe more.
I'm sorry, I'm just
slagging him off
the actor a little bit because he is a bit wooden.
I generally enjoy it. I think I liked Maria. I'm sad that she's gone. I thought she smiled too much, though.
Yeah, she did have that.
I think it was from that sort of stage school coming up and being told, just smile all the time. And it's like weird. It's like moments where you just wouldn't be smiling and she's sitting at her laptop at the beginning of a scene and her dad walks in, she's just grinning at her laptop for no reason.
She may have been accessing something pretty dodgy. Who knows?
Watching cats on the internet.
She sort of reminds me of Kenny in a lot of ways.
What?
Well, if you ever notice when someone took a photo, Kenny could be looking really miserable, and as soon as a camera came out, it was like he was a toothpaste advert.
Oh man, yeah. But no, Liz Sladen's obviously wonderful.
She's great.
I like Clyde a lot.
He's really good. I really like him, and I think I'm not spoiling it. I'm just saying that I really think you'll grow to adore Rani.
Well, I thought the story with, is it the same one where Mr. Smith sort of goes bad?
Yeah, that's the last episode of the first series. Yeah, because he's kind of working in conjunction with Slitheen.
I thought that was very brave, and then I was a bit commensurately disappointed when he sort of, it's all fine at the end again.
You mean they turn them on and off again?
I know. That's like what works for an iPhone.
Yep, absolutely. Well, it's just as on that sort of cusp of believability as School Reunion, where the entire thing is solved with about 50 computers are all in one sort of extension socket, and they just unplug it. I mean, seriously, I watched that with my mate who's an IT manager, and that got the biggest laugh of the episode when we were sitting watching it and going, seriously?
There's going to be a fire if they didn't unplug it. Yeah. No, so where does School Reunion come before Sarah Jane Adventures?
Yeah.
Right. So
it was basically, although I don't It's difficult to tell. I can't remember with the writer's tale. I don't think it was specifically on the agenda, but I think it just developed from there. They thought, yeah, do you know what, we could really, and then obviously we got Invasion of the Bane on New Year's Day.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, Invasion of the Bane's a hell of an episode. I mean, we've got Luke, obviously we've got Miss Wormwood, played by Samantha Bond, who is just, she's absolutely brilliant. But we've also got, I can't remember the girl's name, but she was the proto
oh yes, who never came back.
Yeah, thankfully, because my God, she was annoying.
Not annoying in a good way.
Yeah, I remember actually. At the time, when they done it, they had Bubble Shock. The drink.
Oh yes.
They had the label for that on one of the sites or something, and I got the label printed off so that when Doctor Who came back after that, for that year, I had a party with Connor and some of his friends, and I had Bubble Shock for them all because I'd bought little bottles of orange and just
nobody wanted it.
Yeah, and gave them all out Bubble Shock and stuff.
Nice.
That was quite fun.
I did like the sort of story of Maria's family quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
Like, her dad was a sort of, he was the right side of annoying.
Yeah,
I
liked
loved
her
the
dad a
moment
lot.
where he get frozen in stone. That must have been the Gorgon episode.
Yeah.
And then the mum's kind of monologue to the statue was
Yeah.
actually really touching, I thought.
Also, that episode, that was Emma Thompson's mother, I think.
As one of the nuns? Or
No. She was the old woman with the pendant.
Oh, in the nursing home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice
And that was
plot.
a sort of echo of Sarah Jane, really, because, obviously she'd been on adventures and stuff.
Yeah.
And I found that particularly touching.
Yeah.
I remember, I loved when she said that, her husband said that Sontarans were the silliest, aliens he'd ever met and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was very, very touching.
Good fun.
I've got a lot of love for Sarah Jane Adventures. I see it as sort of old school Doctor Who, in a lot of ways, which is sort of nice. I still to this day do not understand fans having a go at it, because at the end of the day it was specifically made for children.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy it, that's great, but if you don't, then it's not for you. So don't deny kids it.
I've got to finish off watching Class as well, because I've watched 4 or 5 of them only, and I'm really enjoying it, actually.
I liked it okay. I wasn't hugely hooked on it, but I thought it was okay. They have done, I think, 3 or 4 series now. On Big Finish, obviously. And I believe Sophie Aldred's in one of them.
Yeah, right. So, lots of spin-offs to enjoy.
Obviously.
So what have you said you've been watching Grange Hill?
Oh my god, yeah. I don't know why, but, I sort of started watching Grange Hill when it came on BritBox, and I'd slowly got to about near the end of Series 2, but for the last week, I've been watching it constantly, so I'm up to about Series 5 now, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm absolutely hooked on it, but it's sort of... I'd forgotten how awful things were in schools back then. Because, obviously I was at school round about that time anyway, so, but it's sort of, you tend to forget.
You're getting flashbacks.
Yeah. For example, there's an episode, they've got like an outdoor centre, I think it is, and they're there for the weekend. And Tucker's got a magazine that isn't specifically mentioned what magazine it is.
But it's DWM.
Yeah, pretty much. It's definitely DWM with the the centrefold of Tom Baker or something. But anyway, they're passing around this magazine, and it sort of eventually it gets chucked on a campfire by accident. And that's sort of fine and never really gets mentioned, but about 6 episodes later, I'm sitting watching it, and there's a character, I think it's Doyle or something, in the class, nonchalantly, with a Mayfair magazine, front cover, fully on show, of like female sort of with her back to the camera, but her buttocks completely, and this is 5:15 children's television. I'm like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. But
it was a different time.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like the casual violence. I mean, there is a particular episode where a teacher is actually, like, you know, physically hurting some of the kids, you know, and stuff. He gets bullet Baxter punches him out. So
you had to remind me, Bullet Baxter's the other gym teacher.
Another gym teacher. Yeah. But you know, I mean, there's obviously the casual racism, and you know, but although it's quite shocking, in a lot of ways, it reminds me what a groundbreaking programme Grange was, because it didn't shy away from topics that were happening at the time, and it was always positive about it, although, like I said, you know, earlier about, you know, two of the kids were bugging off at an art museum.
Oh God, yeah, that was weird.
But, you know, the racism, but it was sort of still handled clunkily.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't do that now the way it was handled.
I think it's like the teachers weren't exactly the voice of enlightenment.
I mean, the classic one is Roland, who is mercilessly bullied.
Yeah.
And it does go quite a long way, where people are just going, oh, well, you need to toughen up, kid, and things like that, until he actually walks out in front of a car.
Jesus.
And it's, you know, and you're thinking, wow, I mean, things have come on a lot since then. I mean, I'm not trying to make it too dark. It is incredibly entertaining, which is quite impressive considering how old it is, how much it can still hold you.
Yeah.
And as I say, it was a really good crusading programme.
Yeah.
But obviously, things, attitudes, etc. are different now, so it may appear clunky to a modern audience in a lot of ways, but still great TV.
Is Bronson there yet?
No, not yet. They haven't merged with Rodney Bennett.
Oh, Rodney Bennett.
Yeah,
Jesus,
exactly.
That's
because it was Rodney Bennett and Brookdale were the other.
Yeah, God, these names are in my head, just buried.
But I mean, basically, we're at the point where we've just come into the second year of Roland, Zamo.
Zamo's there, right?
And all that.
So I remember the famous sort of heroin plotline with Zamo.
I mean, that's the thing. I'd forgotten, you know, like, the whole first season, Zamo is the sweetest little kid, and he's, you know, he's a little bit cheeky, but he's lovely, and I think that was really clever of them to make him, you know, the one who sort of goes off the rails because he'd been so nice. Because I'd just seen his mother had come into an episode just earlier, and I'd remembered how much it crushed her, you know. And you see her sort of, you know, in this, and it's...
I don't remember much
it's
specifically.
Brilliant stuff.
I remember a shot of him, like, with kind of red eyes.
Yeah,
and the sweat.
I just remember, I think the main bit I remember is Roland walking into the toilets and Zamo's off his head on smack. And I remember him and his girlfriend when she sort of, I think it's threw the heroin or the cocaine away and he punched her.
True.
And, you know, I mean, it's, and the police and all that, I mean, it's really getting to that point, it gets shocking.
I also remember the spin-off Single.
Oh, God. Yeah, but you know the story behind that?
No.
Oh, God, it's hilarious when you think about it. You know, the sort of paragon of virtue and sort of consultant with angels, Nancy Reagan.
Oh, really?
You know, the whole... she had been the one about the Just Say No campaign in America.
Oh, that phrase was hers, was it?
Yeah. So she invited them, the kids from Grange Hill, to the White House.
Oh God, how 80s was it?
Yeah, you know, because of this, and they all did drugs in the White House bathroom. I remember the story they were telling about afterwards, and I think, yeah, brilliant.
Goodness.
Just so you know, kids.
She was probably expecting like some Winifred's school choir or something.
Fucking unbelievable.
Love it.
But highly recommend it. I mean, if anybody's never checked it out, check it out. It's actually, I mean, technically it's a soap opera, I suppose. Phil Redman went on to create Brookside and Hollyoaks.
So I've also been listening to a bunch of other Doctor Who podcasts. I've been really enjoying Flight Through Entirety, and the Real McCoy, specifically focusing on the Sylvester McCoy era. I've listened to everything they've released so far, but I think they're going to do a few more of the new adventures because they've covered all of the TV stories. And I think they're going to touch on some Big Finish as well. But yeah, that's good fun. But most of all, I've been really enjoying all of Time and Space, which is just fun. They're doing it sort of story by story from the beginning, and if their release schedule is anything like ours, it'll be slightly before the heat death of the universe by the time they complete that journey. But it's a lovely sort of format. They start off with a quiz for their guest. They also have a guest each time. And that's morphed into being a mind probe with the threat of being tossed off into the time lash afterwards.
You're angling for an invite, aren't you?
I would love to be mind probed, and not so much with the time lash element, but their time lash is broken as things stand at the moment.
Right.
So.
What about anal probe?
Well, I think that would depend if Anthony Ainley was around. Thank you very much.
You're supposed to say, "Stop, we have learned all we can from anal probing."
What's that from?
Simpsons.
Okay. No, but one of the presenters, Ian, always has enjoyable rants about Ian Chesterton. So I was very sad when Ian and Barbara left.
Oh, I like Ian Chesterton. Stop ranting about him.
I do too, but it's always kind of enjoyably, I think, enjoyably curmudgeonly might be a phrase that I could recycle.
I remember showing, I think it was, I gave a loan of a friend from school, the Daleks. I mean, this was years after school, but I remember him commenting how terribly English and gallant Ian was.
Yeah, but I think what was the last episode they covered was Celestial Toymaker, I think. So yeah, still firmly in the Hartnell era, but it's really good fun. I'd heartily recommend that podcast.
Fantastic.
So, shall we do some talk about our regular stuff? Suppose so.
A man is the sum of his memories, you know, a Time Lord even more so.
It is time for Your Cheating Memory, which is the part of the show where we have randomly selected an old Doctor Who episode and gone away and rewatched it. And now we're back with fresh insights, or at least some tired old dribblings about it again. But we got The Invasion last time, which was lovely because it exists with some animation.
It was the first one to be animated.
Yeah. And I had seen the animations before, unlike many of the more recent ones. It's Cosgrove Hall, famous of course for Danger Mouse, which is a wonderful thing. And is that episodes 1 and 4? I think it's...
Yes,
yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Because by the time we got past episode 4, the rest of it was all there.
It's quite amusing because they've done such an effort on it and everything, and like the Cybermen basically just appear at the very end, don't they? Of
it's like
of
one
the
tiny
animation.
moment. Yeah.
Damn! Couldn't more episodes not have existed?
But what do we think of The Invasion? Liar.
Obviously, it's fantastic. I mean, it really is great to watch. You know, I mean, everybody's on great form. Fraser Hines is just, he's so sort of just clued into Jamie, you know. You don't even need to write a script for him at this point, I think, you know. But, yeah, Pat Troughton's great, Zoe's great, and the sort of proto-companion... Isabel. Well, there you go.
Now, her and Zoe are definitely having, I think, a holiday romance.
Yeah, there's definitely something there, although she dumped Zoe for Captain Jimmy...
Captain Posho.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You know. The newly formed unit, brilliant. Nick Courtney on great form.
He does like choppers a bit too much.
He does, doesn't he?
It's like every other moment he's sending a chopper. Yeah, it's like they're all on like, sorry, we only got BMXs.
God, it was so, oh God. It's lovely. I mean, it really is great.
The best moment with that was when he's like, all right, be discreet, send in the chopper. How discreet can you be in a helicopter?
Oh, and Tobias Vaughan, you know, Kevin Stoney,
yeah.
he's wonderful. Although, it's, he's sort of not hamming it, but he's really sort of milking it, isn't he? You know,
It's very interesting in comparison with his role as Mavic Chen, which kind of follows a similar trajectory in many ways. I think, teamed up with an evil alien force and obviously plotting and scheming.
It's basically the same, except maybe a lighter touch. Although when he gets angry, my God, does he get angry?
Yeah, he says Packer too much as well. It's like, Packer? Where are you, Packer?
Packer just looks depressed through the entire thing.
I think Packer, when he's off duty, just stands just to the left of the camera, so he can just pop onto those cool round monitors that they've got. And it's a brilliant moment. Is it episode 8 when he calls for Packer and a Cyberman pops into shot?
That was good.
That was great.
Yeah, that was really good. What was it we were thinking of making a drinking game out of?
Oh, well, I guess every time there's a chopper called in.
Yeah, there's something else though.
Oh, every time he says Packer, for sure.
Isn't it? Oh, no, I know what it was, so we'll get on to it.
Yeah, no, I think we get the first mention of feminism in Doctor Who. In the Invasion.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
Also, there's this moment when the Cyberman comes out of the sewer in episode 6 that really stood out to me because there's no music or anything.
Yeah, that's very strange.
It just reaches out.
And it's very good.
Yeah.
But we were also talking about when the Cybermen are revived. I mean, okay, it's echoes of Tomb.
Yeah.
But it's very well done.
It looks so creepy and kind of weird and organic. And
it's really good. I do like the new design. The one thing about the Cybermen is nearly every time you meet them, they've changed their design in some way, you know.
Yeah.
And it's this is a really quite impressive design, using Frogman's, it's skin
wetsuits.
Wetsuits is quite good because obviously it's very tight on the skin. Whereas before it was always baggy. Yeah. So it's an interesting to see the sort of they feel more like
they're more robotic, I think.
Robotic,
yeah. The humans more lost.
It's like their progress is is going. But I do like the helmet redesign. Of course, that's been recently sort of rehashed, upgraded, if you will, in the recent Timeless Children Ascension. Redesign, which fair play does look fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really like the episode, and although it's 8 episodes, it really rattles along nicely.
Yeah, well, I did a bit of actual proper research, well, only a little, and there were cuts. We were very struck by weird moments in episode 6 where the scientist Gregory is kind of, you get a whole description of a scene, and I read that basically either they couldn't or had messed up filming of this scene on location, so it suddenly reported action.
You could more or less tell we're doing a bit of a budget cut here, or what you say.
And then very abruptly, he's immediately in the sewers being killed, and you just don't see any transition from his telling off to his execution.
It's a bit of a shame, but especially with such a skilled director as Douglas Camfield at the helm, and you can tell he was probably really pissed off at having to, cut out certain bits.
Well, there's a whole action sequence that you just get told about. Which is, it's striking given how much the rest of it is kind of quite full on gung ho, and
it is, it really looks quite expensive.
Yeah.
And
there was the future prediction in the International Electromatics logo with the tiny eye.
Oh,
small eye,
of
big
course, yeah.
Like...
And, of course, International Electromatics gets a resurgence in the Davis Doctor Who era with Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel. because Lumix's company is International Electromagnetics.
Ah, I didn't make that connection. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, loved the invasion. I think we need to choose a new episode.
What could it be? So
It's a good clip. I should use that clip.
Look, when I give the word, press the button. The big one? Yes, maybe it works in conjunction with the others.
I always dread this moment.
That's nice to hear. Okay, here goes.
All right, well, let's try and find out. Now, what could it be?
Ooh, Planet Fire.
Oh,
We haven't had any Davison, I think.
okay. No, that's good. But I insist we don't watch the extended version.
Okay, why not?
It's have you honestly ever seen that?
Nope.
There's a scene, a pre-title sequence.
Oh, you've told me about this.
It's fucking abysmal.
We have to watch it
was
now.
Ian Levine that
Oh, right.
had directed it, and honestly, I was like, "What the fuck have they done?" Seriously,
I wanna watch it
We'll watch
now.
the normal version, but we can also
plug it in.
get hold of it from somewhere.
Is it not on the DVDs or anything?
It was a DVD sort of exclusive, but I haven't got it. But
Is that season's not on the Blu-rays yet?
no,
is it?
not yet. But I mean, they'll still have that. They won't necessarily have it on there, but it'll be an extra at some point. But seriously, it was fucking terrible. Considering how enjoyable, I found Planet of Fire. It sort of it added things unnecessarily, But it's like the opposite of Enlightenment, where they'd re-edited it. Fiona Cumming had done bits of it and whatever, and it was like it was wonderful. And this is another Fiona Cumming, and it's a fucking travesty.
Yeah. Oh well. The director's cuts can be an indulgence as well as a kind of good extra. I haven't seen it for years and years and years. I remember broad strokes of it. Obviously introduces Perry. And writes out Chameleon.
Bloody
But
hell.
I also and Turlough. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also, am I right? Is that Chameleon's last one as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I remember the music, absolutely loving the music, because it was on one of those cassettes of Doctor Who music.
Yeah, it is quite good music.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I can't remember the actor's name. Do you remember the show
Peter Davison.
Department S and Jason King?
Oh, like old spy fiction stuff.
Yeah, with the thing. Well, he was, I think, Lokar, he was like
One of the Trions.
the main guy in it, and I believe it might have been one of his last television appearances.
Okay. Well, we can read up on it.
Yeah.
Homework and all that.
Yeah.
Lovely. Planet Fire. I'm delighted to get some Davison.
So am I, actually, because I do love Peter Davison.
He was my doctor, mainly. Yeah.
I'm really hoping to get the Visitation at some point.
I'm sure we will at some point. Just for the torture of the
I'll
sonic
probably
screwdriver,
be in my
right?
70s or something.
Is it just so you can gloat over the death of the screwdriver?
No, it's just like a real hankering to... I might end up watching it anyway.
Hungry for pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Lovely.
In my box are such delights.
It is time for Box of Delights, where we are randomly selecting something of old television mostly, and watching it or rewatching it, and then talking about it. So we have a TARDIS money box full of bits of paper with names of TV shows written on them. And last time we drew out Dracula, the Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss version. Now, I had watched the first episode.
And hated it.
No, I didn't hate it. Stop it. I had just been kind of unmoved to continue watching it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I just devoured it this time, haha, pun intended. Watched the first episode with you and then couldn't wait and sneakily behind your back watched the rest.
Yeah, I know.
Because I was enjoying it so much. It's 3 long episodes. Heartily recommend you go away and watch it. We will have spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, then please pause or skip this section and go and watch it, because a lot of the impact is from some of the twists.
Yeah.
For sure.
Very much.
So, I'm going to start the campaign here. I want Dolly Wells for Doctor.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's just...
Yeah, it's great.
Also, her middle name is Perpetua, and how good is that for a Time Lord?
Yeah.
I know, what a middle name.
Nice. No, I think she is... I mean, I think that her portrayal of Sister Agatha is better than the later version.
yeah.
You know, I adore Sister Agatha.
Yeah,
I love her things like what you don't believe in God. Why are you doing this? And you say, well, all women in my situation at this time, that's their
Trapped in a loveless marriage. Yeah,
it's so
good,
so fucking good.
Yeah,
it really is.
I mean, she's fiercely intelligent.
Yeah,
she's got continually surprising dialogue like that and fresh.
Yeah.
She's fearless. She's brave. She's inventive. She's resourceful.
Yeah,
yeah. Like you say, Zoe's a bit less spectacular. Slightly calmer and less kind of quirky and surprising.
Yeah.
But I loved her performance in the scenes towards the end where both characters are kind of bleeding through at once.
Absolutely. And her and Dracula, it's like a sort of moonlighting dance they're doing.
It's how the Doctor and the Master should be.
Yeah.
And so often isn't.
Yeah. They sort of, it was that sort of, they're so perfectly matched, but they're sort of obviously frenemies.
Yeah,
I suppose. But I hate that word, but it sort of best describes them.
Yeah,
I mean, Klaus Bang is he's wonderful.
He does sound a bit like a Scottish trendy clothes shop.
He does a lot.
Klaus Bang.
Yeah, Klaus Bang. I suppose he does, but when the things like the blood being like information,
yeah,
I thought was such an original take on it, and it makes such sense as well, and Dracula survives because he's a fussy eater. He's not.
You are who you eat.
He will choose like more say cultured people. He will eat peasants because he has to sometimes, and it's like that line about why is he afraid of the cross?
Yeah.
He said, no, I can't wait to eat an atheist.
I love that line,
which I was waiting for you to listen to.
I photographed the screen of it. And
you did, you actually phoned me with it because it's such a fucking great line,
Well, I've realised what this and Sherlock both do, that wonderful balancing act of kind of the source material being old, but they modernise it in such a clever way that's kind of right on the right cusp of just abandoning the original entirely.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, that even when they're in the old world, it still feels modern, and that beautiful twist, of course, at the end of episode 2,
yes,
where,
I didn't see that coming. It was so good.
It just makes such sense as well. Even when you look at the book, because I remember Moffat saying, well, in the book they keep saying they're going to the modern world.
I did find the phrase "the new world" a bit not even well misleading, but because you think America and colonies and so on, but it was obviously modern, and that was such a clever twist. Although the third episode is then a little weaker.
Yeah, I do agree that it feels a bit weaker.
And I think it's because the modern world is sort of so much at once, and one episode can't really explore all of the possibilities of Dracula in now.
Yeah.
But the cliffhanger
maybe needed 4 episodes to thing it out. But
I was also a little disappointed with Lydia West as Lucy. I mean, generally fine, she's so good in so much else, but I think it was you first see the initials on the phone of her character as LW as well. I was like, that's meta.
Oh yeah, of course, Lucy Westenra.
Yeah, I don't know why. Again, I think it's just a slight character.
But Lucy Westenra, even in the book, is a wet character. I mean,
or shallow to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, Mina Harker is actually is more, because that's Dracula's. I mean, he does go for Lucy Westenra, but he's sort of encapsulated by Mina.
Yeah, I'd be thinking of Mina.
Yeah, but obviously they couldn't have her come back, But I think there was a lot to explore. I mean, you only get a sense of the Jonathan Harker Institute. You don't really...
It could be a whole series, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, really, someone, I think on one of the podcasts, suggested that Big Pharma was behind them.
Right.
And
I thought you were going to say Big Finish.
Big Finish, yeah, well, they probably will be at some point. Yeah, so...
It's like their Torchwood, basically.
Sort of, yeah, but it was that idea of the blood could be used as 1,000.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go that way.
That's what I thought.
It had that vibe that the Alien movies have in terms of wanting to harvest the aliens as bioweapons.
Exactly.
All of that stuff.
But I did love the fact that Count Dracula was there for a couple of hours, and he had a
and then he had a lawyer.
Suddenly,
well, I rolled my eyes when Gatiss turned up as Renfield.
Well, he was
obviously
going to be in it at some point.
But that's where the sort of third episode teetered a bit for me.
Yeah.
Was like, would they really let him go into the world? I mean...
See, that didn't necessarily feel like that would happen, because I didn't think they would even let a lawyer through.
Yeah.
But, of course...
I think, you know what it is? It's we've had all those evil corporation vibes.
Yeah.
And it hasn't quite settled yet. So at that point, I think it feels much more plausible that they just chuck the lawyer in the cage with him.
Well, yeah, but there's also the other thing of that most people that are in, say, a black cell, don't have any form of communication.
I got the
with
Wi-Fi
outside.
Password joke.
I mean,
Really?
it's hilarious. I love it. It's the sort of thing, of course.
I mean, it feels completely incompetent, but I suppose they've been going for hundreds of years without seriously contemplating that Dracula might pitch up.
That's the thing, though. You look at all these, say, government departments, and the password is 1234, or
Jesus, yeah.
it's because generally people have nothing but disdain for people that are, say, involved in computers. You can see that in things like the IT crowd. I know you've not watched it, but it is quite sort of telling of the way that people who use computers but don't have any interest in them, have that thing. So that sort of thing is plausible, and with Dracula being able to communicate with the world outside, it's a lot more difficult to keep things quiet then, isn't it?
I think.
Whereas, if no one's been able to contact a lawyer, then you'd put them in the deepest, darkest cell, and that's it.
Well, it was. I think what was strong in the episode was that Dracula has no culture shock.
Yeah,
it's just
I
so
love that.
good at adapting.
Yeah, because, as he points out, I'm a 300-year-old warlord.
Yeah.
I've seen the progress of time. He said, he said that, is that a camera? And so, how do you know that? He said, well, the things change, but, same with a gun, you can recognise it's a gun.
It really bucks what you would expect from a lot of kind of fiction with anything like similar circumstances.
Of course, yeah. And I love, he knows mercenaries, and it's really good. It's just as I say, I agree that bit could have done with a bit more fleshing out, but the previous bits, it was really interesting because they said that the book's never really been properly done, because you get the preamble in Transylvania, but in the book the voyage is is shimmied over. You get a few letters and you get a sense of what's happening. But for them to expand the voyage was a really clever stroke, because...
Oh, it's so creepy, that episode.
Yeah, and also it's interesting, like when he's dining with the Countess, and he was her, lover back when she was in her 20s, I think.
It's quite moving, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you get to know him a lot, and you get to know how he interacts and how he inserts himself into society and all that.
Yeah, no, it's a lovely piece of work. I am properly excited to see what Stephen Moffat does with Time Traveller's Wife.
Yeah,
I think that's coming this year, isn't it?
I mean, let's be honest,
It's
he's done it 4 or 5 times already. River Song, Amy Pond, and The Girl in the Fireplace.
Yeah,
but
no, I did a great piece of drama. I don't know why it didn't grab me the first time, but I think so much depends on where you're at in your mind when you watch something.
I totally agree. I remember watching Vincent and the Doctor last time.
Yeah.
Didn't like it. Couldn't stand it. Next time I watched it, I thought, oh my god, it's
That's
just
it with
beautiful.
depression as well, isn't it? Sometimes you just can't
I
open
was
yourself up to
depressed
stuff.
at the time, ironically.
And for me, I think it's been the case of sometimes I just need fluff.
Yeah.
Or familiar comforts like old Red Dwarfs and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I've found... I think... I wouldn't say I'm depressed at the moment, per se, but I remember I actually remember the reason why I wanted to watch Grange.
What, for comfort?
Yeah, genuinely, I was wanting to watch things like Finger Bobs and the Flumps.
Well, maybe we'll get Bagpuss.
Well, you never know, but I needed something nostalgic. From my childhood.
Hold that thought and choose a new thing to watch.
Yeah.
And we're going to get some gritty drama now, aren't we?
Probably Hillsborough or Cracker or something.
I'm reenacting the start of the TARDIS landing from Christmas Invasion now.
Oh, yeah.
And crash.
Oh, you should actually do the bit with the TARDIS lands and the Impossible Astronaut. Penny in the air, and she throws the model thing.
Right.
I think.
Cue sound effects of rummaging through bits of paper.
Rumpaging,
scrubbaging. The box of delights again.
Yep.
Here we go. Ooh, okay, Ghost Watch.
Oh, brilliant!
Tell me about that. Was that sort of pseudo reality program?
I'm interested to see what you think of it.
I'm probably going to hate it, aren't I?
Well, no and yes, because obviously it's a drama.
Well, I have this sort of mixed relationship in my head with the kind of pseudo-supernatural stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of playing, although I can't say it's playing on because those shows didn't exist then, but it's playing on that sort of Most Haunted type thing. Which
I think is a series I've not watched.
No,
having read about it's not for me.
Bollocks, basically. Yeah. But this is, it was a drama.
Was it a one-off or is it?
Yeah, it was the Screen One presentation.
Gotcha, right? Yeah.
And
is this Michael Aspel? Is it that one?
No, it's Michael Parkinson.
Yeah.
Craig Charles is in it.
All right.
He's one of the presenters.
Is it Yvette Fielding?
No, you're thinking of Ghostwatch again. No, Sarah Green and Mike Smith.
I knew there was a Blue Peter connection.
Yeah, her husband.
Yes.
Thing. So
they didn't like choppers.
It's basically set around a house where there's been happenings with the girl
leave it now because I'll come in cold.
But what I will say is it's actually based on the true life events of the Enfield haunting. Where
that was when Harry Enfield was unable to get to sleep.
No, it was a case back in the 70s, and it was quite famous. I mean, they've actually made a Conjuring movie out of it, and there's been a TV version on Sky and things.
Right.
So, I mean, it is well documented.
It's the British Amityville or something.
Yeah, it literally is.
Gotcha. Oh, well.
Sort of thing.
Well, that's fun. We'll watch that.
I'm looking forward to it. I like Ghostwatch.
As long as we can dare to venture out of the safety of our blankets afterwards.
I think the thing about Ghostwatch is it's more the cultural impact it had.
Right.
It's basically Britain's War of the Worlds Orson Welles broadcast. Maybe on a smaller scale, but you get the point.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
Was there looting and shooting and rampaging through the streets?
Well, I wasn't living in Luton at that time.
Looting and looting.
See what I did there?
Jesus.
Getting you back.
Oh my God, all those puns.
Fucking god awful puns.
Name 5.
I accept your challenge.
We will crush you.
So, it's challenge time, where, of course, I've been asked to rewatch The Mutants, and, of course, as everybody knows, we talked about it at great length last time, and now it's Tim's turn to, and I have challenged him to watch, of course, Touched by an Angel.
What are you doing?
What?
I've just been to the loo. What are you doing?
Exercise, vocal exercise.
Oh, yeah, because you were a bit croaky earlier. So
yeah.
Should we do the challenge now?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Next week.
Could it have been affected by tangential deviation coming out of the warp ellipse?
What are you talking about, Grease Stain?
So, it is double tangent time. So, we are going to talk about the final episode of Red Dwarf that we've watched, and then on to the Tomorrow People. And in a shocking twist of fate, I quite enjoyed this more repeat this time.
See?
That was the guru teasing you voice, that little ad that you did there. Yeah.
I think with the I think it's more of a you've been ground into submission.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like a cult, telling you that, how wonderful it is, and eventually you sort of you agree, and
can I have my clothes back and see my family now?
Yeah, you would give your life for the party, etc. So, yeah.
No, just for the work event.
Oh, for the work event.
But let's do Red Dwarf first and save the best for last. Ho ho.
Actually, in this case, yeah.
Well, yes, we watched The Promised Land again, and as you may recall, because we talked about it in a previous episode, Promised Land left us a little bit cold, and I don't think anything really changed for me on the rewatch. I wasn't really grabbed by it. There's still some brilliant little moments here and there.
Oh yeah, totally.
And it still looks amazing.
It's a lot better than Back to Earth. You know?
That definitely wins out over that.
Yeah.
But I would say it's kind of... Yeah, given the strength of the previous Dave season, it felt like the kind of...
Step back.
Yeah, just too much drama, ironically. And we've kind of always said this, haven't we? That you got to have this sort of strong...
You've got to have an 80-20 balance for 80%. Well, but 80% comedy, 20%... It sort of tends to work better, I
think I'd said it before, that the main antagonist is just not a humorous character in the way that, for example, the My Dominator character is really funny even while being properly evil. But, yeah. But I think there were occasionally just entire scenes that were all played as dramatic scenes, and the marketing of it is kind of like thrilling and epic and all of that sort of stuff just kind of played against Red Dwarf's strengths in a funny way. And ultimately, he wasn't funny, the bad guy. He was just nasty.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. Red Dwarf, at its heart, is a comedy with dramatic sci-fi elements to it. And that's the way it works. It just does work like that.
But lots of fun along the way. There were some really good moments. And I think we haven't watched the AA ads, but they're the only other bit of Red Dwarf that's out there.
They're 30-second ads.
I have read in-depth reviews of them on a fan site, which I enjoyed.
Christ. But I suppose there's one bit that we disagreed on comedically, was the bit about the backup disc, the huge...
Oh yeah, I really like that joke.
It's a comedy prop. There's nothing offensive about it. I just think it's a bit too ridiculous.
Strain your credulity to breaking point.
Yeah, it's a bit. Fuck's sake.
It's sort of.
It's a very small part of the thing. It doesn't.
There's been a sort of internal logic to the world of Red Dwarf, which that just shatters beyond.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, But, when you consider Lister's mind was on
the tiny little cassette,
mind you that, well, I suppose that, But, there are funny bits in it, there are genuinely funny bits. The bits where sort of turning Rimmer's power down and things, and it's difficult to remember specifically, but I think we were talking like Crichton was doing his lie mode stuff, which still was brilliant. There was genuinely some decent bits in it. It's not anywhere near as bad as Back to Earth, which is really the low point of Red Dwarf.
Even then, we still found bits to love. I think it's always been something that's been worth the journey, and what a journey it's been rewatching it all.
It really has. I have to say I've thoroughly enjoyed watching it. In fact, I found myself looking forward to watching a lot of it. I find it a bit of a shame it's sort of, for now at least, ends on that one, because
I don't think it's officially cancelled or anything.
No, I don't believe so.
I haven't heard.
But like you said, the previous season had been so strong. It's also amazing to watch it when you realise how far they've come in model effects, SFX, etc. How the look of it is so strong now. It easily stands up, because when it was originally, shown, I mean, it's very much that sort of very cheap look, although I am very nostalgic for that a lot of the time.
It's almost just the best of the kind of the great skill of
video
effects from the BBC at that time.
I agree, but I'm just saying, you know, when you could watch Red Dwarf in conjunction with, say, an American sci-fi, and it would actually stand up, you know, effects-wise, whereas back then it wouldn't have, even with the likes of Buck Rogers or something, say, you know. But that's a by the by. That's not what's important about Red Dwarf.
So I thought we'd wrap up by having a sort of little look back and an overview. So I've got a few questions for you just to pluck answers out of the air for, and I've got my own. So can you pick a favourite season? Okay.
I would say season 4 of the old series.
Yes.
And
we're doing classic Red Dwarf. And Russell T Davies new Red Dwarf.
And the last season was at season 12.
Yes,
which
X11.
was, yeah, those two.
Yeah, okay. Greedy. I just picked season 5.
Yeah.
I didn't really make a big division with the Dave years, but, you know, it's fair enough.
Yeah.
It does feel very different in some ways. And season 5 basically has just episodes that I adored, like Quarantine, absolute highlight. Hollow Ship, Demons and Angels, you know, back to realities in season 5.
Yeah.
But season 4 would be a very close second for me, actually, I think, as well, because adore DNA Justice, Whitehall, all great episodes. So my next question is to home in and say, do you have a favourite episode from the whole of it? It's tricky, isn't it?
God, I sort of...
You're going to go early, aren't you?
Yeah. It's a garbage pot.
Oh yeah, so that is Balance of Power.
Balance of Power.
Yeah,
I really do like that episode. I think.
If Lister becomes the chef or tries to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get Claire Grogan's cameo.
Yes.
Being puppeteered by Rimmer. I chose Confidence and Paranoia, so season 1 as well.
There you go.
Partly because I always loved the joke about the raining fish and somebody ate them, and I love another great idea from the guys who brought you beer milkshake, but that has too slow chicken Marengo.
Yeah, early cat stuff.
Yeah,
he's just brilliant when he's completely
catty. Yeah,
catty. You know.
Yeah. Fish. Today's fish is trout a la creme. Enjoy your meal.
I know. I still laugh at that. It's so immature.
It leads me into the last question, which is favourite moment. I couldn't choose one.
I can.
Can you?
Oh, yeah.
Go.
You know, silence!
Meltdown.
Meltdown. I fucking love... It's not the funniest.
It's Tony Hawk's continually slapping Lister whenever the cat does something like this. Yeah.
It's not the funniest episode, although the bit... Oh, no, I don't believe it. It's Winnie the Pooh. He's refusing a last cigarette. He's refusing the blindfold. I mean, I love the bits just you don't see.
Yeah.
Because it's so silly. But Tony Hawk literally constantly slapping Lister. I literally keep pissing myself every time. What was that?
No, I mean, Too Slow Chicken Ringo, obviously, for me. Yeah. I love... One of my favourite moments of the whole show is when Kachansi comes back. It's the Nurik Rutut Hanunga. He's like, what? How can you say Rutut when it's supposed to be Hanunga?
I mean, the beautiful and fragrant and lovely Chloe Annette.
How can you tell the fragrance part from
I can tell it.
Is that a DVD extra?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a smell-o-vision. No, I mean... I adore her just having a complete fucking meltdown.
Yeah.
And the with the fucking cottage cheese thing, you know, and just you know, quite literally ready to fucking.
I went to the best school in the Gorbals.
Some kind of bits like that. It is a really, really damn good episode.
Didn't I try and play a game of Magic Flute when we had our friends over a few weeks ago?
Oh God, yeah,
It was like channeling Chloe and Ed.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
So, well, that was Red Dwarf. It's the end of an era for us. We've really enjoyed rewatching it.
Goodbye, farewell, we're leaving you. Goodbye.
Okay.
What's happening? You're becoming one of us. Who's us? The Tomorrow People. The Tomorrow People.
So, we've also been back on the Tomorrow People wagon, which is a kind of rickety wagon with perhaps triangular wheels.
We're back on the heroin.
It's like, it's not nearly as addictive.
No, we're not watching Grange.
I could just say no to the Tomorrow People anytime. Although, I've got to be serious, since Gareth made us watch Kinvig, I've appreciated the Tomorrow People a lot more.
But you have to eat your words a little on this one.
Only a little. But no, we watched The Blue and the Green, and you had promised me a good one, and sure enough, it was a lot better than anything on before. But it's sort of like saying...
No, don't say it's damning with faint praise.
No, it's sort of like saying that not being buried up to your nostrils in cow dung is better than being buried up to your nostrils.
Hey, it's pretty bloody decent.
Well,
actually, piece of 70s TV.
Carol and Kenny, nowhere to be seen.
Well, Kenny's at Borstal, I think.
He's gone to the Trig, and replaced by Elizabeth, who actually, uniquely for the show so far, I think, can actually pretty much act. And a genuinely quite enjoyable performer to watch.
Yep.
And that was gobsmacking to begin with. And the plot was... not subtle. I can't quite work out what the metaphor was.
Well, it was definitely rattling my brain.
Yeah, but no, for those who haven't seen it and don't want to skip ahead to avoid spoilers, one of the pupils at Stephen's school produces these mysterious blue and green badges, which seem to have a link to a strange picture that he's painted in the past that changes, and people start acting violently and nastily when the picture changes to its kind of nighttime version. And then people grab these badges and instantly fall into very subtle factional behaviour. But it's fun, it's clever, it uses a hell of a lot of stock footage to depict a kind of wider world kind of effect of all these badges happening everywhere.
I mean, if you're saying about subtlety, right, I will draw you to an episode of Star Trek called Let That Be Your Last Battlefield.
Oh, the one with the people who are half white, half black?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, at least it was a little bit more subtle than that.
Yeah, true. But no, it's very interesting because you have a lead who's a person of colour now, and there's this obvious metaphor for the ways humanity divides itself and fights among itself, and so the show tackles it, pretty decently, although it dissolves into sci-fi dribble by the end, of course.
Of course, yeah.
But no, some great moments in it, and I think the creepy basement set in the world's funniest antique shop as well. The shopkeeper character kept expecting to whip off the beard and be Patrick Troughton, actually.
I mean, it's so ridiculous, it's sort of like the caricature of a sort of a junk shop, owner, trying to sort of make a quid here and there, sort of thing. Oh,
I mean, he was
funny.
He was the most milked character since that policeman in Box of Delights.
Absolutely.
But genuinely enjoyable to watch.
Of course, Elizabeth is actually introduced as Stephen's teacher.
Yes,
as well.
We see her breaking out.
Yeah, but from the moment she sort of accepts it, she seems to move into the lab.
Yeah, she's sleeping in the lab. What's that about?
Yeah, so I'm only assuming that her digs were costing her too much. She saw it's a good opportunity.
Yeah. I don't know how you ever get any sleep with all those lava lamps going all the time.
It's and
no privacy either. It's just like a bench in the corner.
And the other thing being that Oh, she's an adult. I mean, does she honestly want to sleep in a single bed? You know, I mean,
It was
God,
the
I couldn't.
70s, you know.
I couldn't sleep in a single bed. I don't think I've slept in a single bed since I was about 12.
Oh dear. Maybe you can jaunt into your clothes each morning, so you don't have to.
It could be that. Yeah. Also, we get the introduction of we sadly lose Ginge.
I'm so sad about that
but we get his brother Chris, who's
just
looks quite like Ginge,
and he's there's the whole comedy car chase thing that he's driving this Jeep for no explored reason, and
with a Biggles hat on.
And there's like a whole bunch of scenes of the cops chasing him happening.
And every time the cop sort of, he slips the Keystone Cop chase, he picks it. I mean, I even predicted it. He picks his hat up and throws it down in frustration.
Yeah,
that was our
drinking game.
Our other drinking game.
Oh my goodness! I mean,
but yeah, I mean that was very funny.
Yeah.
But no, I think in general, it's a really good example of where Tomorrow People was going. I'm not saying it gets sensible or anything like that. I mean, there are some bloody god-awful episodes coming up.
Oh, goody.
But fun god-awful rather than sort of just plain rubbish.
Was this season 2?
Yes, this is the start of season 2.
Yeah, it makes sense. They have some like cast changes and stuff.
But, you have got better characters for a start at the moment anyway. You've got other characters.
They're mentioned to be two-dimensional now.
Sorry?
They're mentioned to be two-dimensional now.
Yeah, but you have got other characters coming in that sort of are not necessarily as great as well.
We're going to get like Ginger's third removed cousin sort of thing.
Well, but, I mean, as I say, not some episodes not brilliant, but there are some genuinely really good episodes coming up that, explore the whole idea of the Tomorrow People as well. But, I mean, this is 70s kids TV, so it's I mean, well, I've been talking about Grange Hill. I mean, that's a lot more sort of, say, done seriously.
Yeah.
This is ITV on a very small budget.
Yeah.
And so you're not getting the best, but when you think about it, you remember Into the Labyrinth, for example.
I don't remember anything about it other than that I watched and liked it.
And you liked it.
Yeah. So
I watched this, and got really into it. I watched Into the Labyrinth, found it massively exciting. I rewatched it a few years back and thought, well, that exists.
It is in our box of delights.
Of course,
so
but again, you had Ron Moody and Pamela Salem, and they obviously held the thing together quite well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's like, your sensibilities change a little bit. As an adult, I love it just for the corny nostalgia factor of it. I still think it's probably my favourite show because it gives me so much joy and entertainment when I watch it.
Well,
but, I'm fully aware of its limitations.
Good, because I'm here to point them out to you. Now, I'm astonished it got a second series, but I'm glad it did. And I really enjoyed that.
It got 8 series.
What?
I swear to fuck.
Are we talking about Tomorrow People?
Yes.
8 series?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, they're not all in BritBox then?
No.
That's what I reckoned.
You keep out of this.
What the fuck? Even Silly has an opinion.
Oh dear. Okay. No, I'm astonished that Tomorrow People got to a second series. But I'm glad it did.
I've got the DVDs, so don't worry.
Okay, so there's no point.
You won't get out of it.
Oh god. Right. Well,
it's going to be your Mutants, isn't it?
Yep. More later. Well, no, because there's one slight, tiny teensy difference, which is I'm actually watching Tomorrow People.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, clearly not. No. All right, lovely stuff.
Oh dear monster.
So, it is time for Monster by Monster. We are going to randomly pick monsters from a list of monsters and aliens from the BBC website and say things about them, maybe, if we're very lucky. Here we go. 138. Let's find out which one that is. I'm going to be on the cusp of new and old. 138 is the Gelf.
Oh,
so from Unquiet Dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, wasn't Eve Miles brilliant in that?
You're doing it deliberately.
Yeah, sorry. No, actually, the Gelf were an interesting, sort of thing, because it's the first time we get any real sort of hint of how, say, devastating the Time War was.
Mm-hmm.
Because they say, they're planets and everything. But this was Mark Gatiss's first episode, if I remember, and
It's only the third episode of the whole new series, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And we sort of had the Gelf were sort of animating corpses.
And the gas.
Gaslight, which was rather clever. And we had Charles Dickens in the episode. No, I mean, it was... I think it was New Who's first steep into like proper horror for tea time horror for kids.
Yeah,
and also technically you could call this Eccleston's Christmas special. Because it was, I mean, Christmas. The whole thing was set at Christmas.
That's
so,
true.
Yeah.
But I'd always mash it up in my brain with the Gelf from Red Dwarf.
The Gelf.
It's this sort of Gelf space and all that.
So basically, the Rose and the Doctor are sort of going for a wine and cheese party with the Gelf.
Yeah, I know. I haven't watched Unquiet Dead for quite a long time, but it sticks in the mind.
It is quite good. I mean, I must admit, I always say Gates is a bit hit and miss sometimes, but it's definitely one of the better ones.
And I like that it's a kind of they're baddies, they're goodies, no, they're baddies again sort of thing. So that was kind of nice and twisty.
Yeah, and it was I suppose. Well, actually, it wasn't the first example of people being sacrificed by the Doctor, or because Jabe, the previous episode. But this is one of the long line of people that have died.
I think he's really earned it by the time we get to Dr. Dances and nobody dies, so it's kind of...
It's interesting because you, in Stolen Earth, Journey's End, when Davros saying about how many people have died, and you get flashbacks from Jabe onwards.
Yeah. Okay, let's do another monster. 24.
Ooh, Christ, that's
Back into the mists of time. That's the Chameleons, but
Faceless One. I'm assuming that because they're called chameleons, they can maybe imitate or shape change.
Well, they sort of steal people's...
Look like people.
They steal people's bodies.
All right. Oh, okay. Bit like the Gelf.
But Faceless One's is a good sort of story.
Oh, yeah.
It's also one of the very early kind of actually let's help out the aliens at the end a bit.
Oh, right.
Kind of twists, even though they've done some pretty nasty stuff along the way. It's not a kind of blow them all up or defeat them.
Makes a nice change, I suppose.
Yeah, but the Faceless Ones has been animated now, hasn't it?
Yes.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, so it's one that if we get it, I'd be very happy.
You won't moan too much, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, let's choose another monster.
Monster.
We could do a list of companions. Then you'd talk about the monsters in those stories.
You should just get a whip out or something.
Oh, yeah, it's coming to it, I tell you. Alright. So it's 150, which is the Rachnos.
Oh, not the Rachnos. Yeah, the Rachnos was great.
Runaway Bride, right?
Yeah. Now, that was Sarah Parrish.
Right.
Played the Rachnos. Very good performance, actually. Really sort of
visceral and monstery and lovely.
I get the feeling that the teeth were really difficult. There's a lot of Rose Tyler sort of acting. When she came back in Stolen Earth.
Okay.
And she had new teeth and she was talking a bit funny.
Did she have new teeth?
Apparently. Yeah, but that's
why... Did she get them in the parallel universe?
Probably, yeah. But, I love I love that episode.
It's just great fun, isn't it?
Real, I mean, you've got Catherine Tate and whatever, but it's also the way that's the first real signs of Time Lord Victorious.
They're holding him back, and Donna
he's very
because they revisit that and turn left, don't they? When if Donna wasn't there,
But the Rachnos were great, which makes it all the more puzzling when you get to the Rachno.
Oh, it's so facially similar.
So silly.
But no, beautiful performance. So.
Yeah, and also like that idea that, he takes him back to the formation of the Earth and that the spaceship or whatever it was sort of the one that kind of pulled the matter together. Really nice.
Like, thank you, giant spiders.
Yeah.
Okay, next is 145, very nearby. It's the werewolf, presumably from Tooth and Claw.
I've just watched that.
Have you?
Yeah, because I've been on I think I'm just so excited about RTD coming back. I've actually been watching Confidential from the start, and I've also started watching from New Earth onwards because it's like things you don't watch very often.
Yeah,
and I sort of forgotten how much fun even things like New Earth can be. And I watched Tooth and Claw because I haven't seen that in so long.
Yeah, I haven't watched it for a while.
And I wouldn't say the werewolf effect is the best in any way, but I think for the time it was a pretty decent effect, because I've always found in movies werewolf effects,
it's always cut away, cut back.
It's never very good. I suppose American Werewolf and The Howling,
well, they were groundbreaking for
were
that, weren't
very
they?
groundbreaking, but this for a werewolf thing, it's actually not bad.
Well, this is a sort of CG over prosthetics, as well, isn't it? And remind me, is there sort of sci-fi explanation for what the werewolf is? Or
yes, it's an alien that can possess this kid. But it's interesting because at that point they were doing these things called TARDISodes, which were sort of like 2-minute introductions, but they were web-based. And the TARDISode for this is actually quite good because it actually adds to the story.
I don't think I've seen any.
And you see like a meteor or something crash in the Highlands, and an old man being possessed by this entity thing. So it sort of adds to it.
Am I remembering rightly? It's strongly implied that Prince Albert was a werewolf.
No, it didn't. It actually, you see at the end, Queen Victoria has a small cut on her hand.
It's implied that she's a werewolf.
Yeah, and then you get this whole thing about, when they're talking about the royal family, sort of, a little nip, and oh my god, they're all werewolf, the Queen, and it's, to be honest, I would imagine if they were to do that now, you would get hundreds of Daily Mail complaints, about disrespecting the monarchy, disrespecting Prince Andrew because he's such a paragon of virtue.
Well, I mean, I'm getting off topic now, but this is one where I think you've got Rose and the Doctor at their most obnoxiously self-indulgent, but they get called on it.
They do,
which is really nice.
This is the beginning of the whole Torchwood.
Yeah, and Torchwood, of course.
And of course, I mean, you got some really guest actors. You got Derek Riddell.
Who I was in a play with.
Oh right,
yeah,
I really like him.
The Big Picnic. Bill Bryden, the director, died quite recently, so I was remembering The Big Picnic. It was a big show in Govan.
Yeah,
didn't see Chloe in at school while I was there.
Yeah.
But
I'm a really big fan of his actually, because I hope he's a nice guy. Please tell me he's nice.
My lips are sealed.
Oh god. Yeah, no, because I used to watch the book club.
Oh yes, I remember
and
that.
He was in that, and he played like a completely, Ned sort of thing.
Such an odd assortment of actors in that, and remember one of them turned up in Jonathan Creek as well.
Yeah, but I mean, one of them's a hound on Game of Thrones.
I thought you were being really nasty about their physical appearance.
No, the guy that was in the wheelchair.
Oh yes.
He's Clegane,
So
in
he is.
Game of Thrones, and he's in Hot Fuzz. Yarp.
Yeah, we should put book group or book club in the box.
Actually, yeah, it's a damn good show.
Yeah.
Getting again completely.
Where are we? Who are we?
Yeah, Pauline.
Quirk.
No,
McGlynn. No, that's.
Oh God, Liverbirds. She was in. She was going to be a Doctor Who companion. In fact, she was in
the Faceless Ones.
Collins, that's it.
Yeah,
she plays Queen Victoria.
Well, she always get adjacent to Scottish people in wherever she does in Doctor Who.
Yeah,
Anyway.
But yeah, no, great episode. And yeah, I mean, it's nice seeing a werewolf.
It's a genuinely threatening monster as well. It was...
And David Tennant getting a chance to do his proper accent until halfway through when Queen Victoria,
it's like,
your accent,
don't do that. Yeah, that was when those jokes were still quite fresh.
I saw this feral beastie.
Oh, jinx.
Hoots, man! No.
Yeah.
No, please.
Fair play. One more and then we will knock on the head.
Oh.
200.
I love talking about monsters.
Yeah, we'll knock on the head until it sees the error of its ways. Okay, I'm going to have to think about this one. It's the spider germ. Now, this is after the Skullvox blister. Is this Kill the Moon? It's Kill the Moon.
Must be, yeah.
Because the next one is the moon creature. And
yeah.
So these are the very spidery but quite enjoyably glowy sort of creatures in Kill the Moon.
Come out of the moon,
It's a bit of an incoherent episode, that one. I remember being outraged by how completely implausible scientifically it was at first.
Yeah, and it was a sort of, don't know.
They're just okay, aren't they?
It's okay. I mean, I like Capaldi. I like anything that Capaldi's in terms of him. I don't always necessarily like the episode, like, say, Forest of the Night or that one, you know. But,
I do like the monster.
Yeah.
I do find them threatening and, you know, brutal and quick and horrific when they get people. But...
I think, it's because it's an egg. You know, it's like killing the
main creature. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to wait until we score 201 to talk about that one.
Ah, right. So
should we do one more then? Just
go on.
In case
we might get 201.
Something more substantial. Yeah. I could cheat. 89 Tygellans. So the Tygellans are from Meglos, which I have not seen.
the cactus thing.
The Tygellan Society has Dions and Savants. So it's Barbara Wright, basically. It's Jacqueline Hill's.
Yeah.
But the Zolfathurans were the Meglos.
I don't.
They're just aliens, aren't they? I haven't seen that for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Tom Baker being a cactus.
Yeah,
and some bloke
amazing image
being a cactus as well. But it's one I haven't watched in years.
Yeah. All right. Well, so that we end with a bang and not a whimper, let's do another. More monsters.
Heat death of the universe.
Yeah, I want to be there. Number 5, Coquelion.
Oh, the rescue.
Yes.
And it wasn't even a fucking monster. It was a guy, literally. I kind of like the joke of it. It's a guy in a rubber suit.
Well, talking of All in Time and Space, the other podcast, I think you should go and listen to their episode on the rescue because it's very enjoyable. And of course, especially we're introducing Vicky. So, and Coquelion's kind of. It's a great mask, I think.
I mean, it's really good, but it's a bizarre plot.
Slight plot.
Yeah, because he's doing it to keep her there, is it?
Yeah, there's a sort of whole kind of hostage. He killed the crew. Lies to her about what happened.
I mean,
she's this kind of insurance when they get arrested.
Is that what it is? It's not a sort of creepy vibe. I mean,
that
probably
was never intentional in the writing of it. I would think but it's inherently creepy. But
isn't this Dennis Spooner one?
Don't know,
because his stories tended to be more comedy. You know, like the Romans and things like that. I know he wrote the Romans. I could be just mixing it up. But yeah, Vicky, Maureen O'Brien.
David Whittaker wrote it.
Oh, really?
Dennis Spooner was script editor.
I was going to say, I thought David Whittaker might have been script editor, writing it as a sort of film.
Yeah.
Because it's a two-parter, isn't it?
Yes. I'm reading that Coquelion's mask was inspired by a close-up of a fly. Sort of close-up photography of a fly.
The interesting thing about Coquelion's mask is, did you ever play any of the Zelda games?
Yes, no, it's
like Majora's
Mask. Yes, yeah. Totally.
It's it reminds me so much of Majora's Mask.
Well, I wonder if you go to the same sort of insectile kind of source.
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is.
Anyway, who knows?
Actually, I've watched it a few times. Quite enjoy it. It's nice that Hartnell gets another kid to dote over, really, because he's. I mean, I feel so sorry for him at the end. Dark Invasion of Earth.
Yeah.
And according to you, with your whole moving in Rani thing, it's convenient that they find another chance. But, it's as the plot dictates.
Well, I guess we don't have the 10 episodes in between where it's just a normal day in Bannerman Road. There's nothing happens.
Exactly. Yeah. Be sitting there, what are we investigating today, Sarah? Oh, well, I don't know, I've got some yogurt that's maybe gone out of date.
It's like, and if I don't eat it now, it'll swell up and take over the earth. Yeah. Well, actually, looking at my list, they do not have Sandy the Sand Beast, so we should probably at least
What the fuck is Sandy the Sand Beast?
That's Vicky's pet that Barbara brutally murders in The Rescue.
God, I don't
You need to watch The Rescue again.
Yeah. That'll be our new Taran Wood Beast.
Sandy the Sand Beast.
Sandy the Sand Beast.
Yeah. Sandy the Sand Beast, Tara the Taran Wood Beast.
Yeah, we could. RTD needs to do some sort of team up with all the really inconsequential beasts, and they form a super group to save the
beast
universe.
Below. Who are the beasts that we had in Doctor Who?
The Beast Below, yeah. The Beast, the Satan Pit.
Oh yeah. Beastie the Beast.
Yeah, the rankings are sort of, you go from Sandy the Desert Sand Beast to Taran Wood Beast to literally Satan.
That's in their version of
and then
Beast Wars.
They're all there voting their leader, and Satan gets outvoted by the Taran Wood Beast.
I can't help but feeling there's another beast that we're overlooking.
There probably is. There's probably loads of beasts.
Yeah. Oh well, hold that beastie thought. And we'll get back.
The Beastie Boys.
The Beastie. Right. No sleep till Gallifrey.
It's the end. But the moment has been prepared for.
9 times out of 10.
So thank you for listening. If you would like to get in touch, and especially if you're a reincarnated Hungarian nun, we can be reached by email at randomiserpodcast@gmail.com. You can leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/randomiser or follow us on Twitter at randomiserpod. And in all cases...
That's Randomiser with an S, not a Z. You're basically just hoping for Dolly Wells to leave a voicemail.
That would make my day. Don't worry, we're not going to have to start straight away. We've got lots of tape.
Okay. Well, have you got C90 or C120?
I've got to see you, Jimmy.
Scotch tape. Oh, come on! That is bloody gold.
Cutting all of that.
Oh, that was great.